Hi guys, welcome back to another episode with me, May McBell. How are you all today? I hope you are doing well. So, today I'm talking about this guy here, and I'm not laughing, this is a nervous giggle, because it's just, this story is so uncomprehendable to believe that it's actually real, and it did actually happen. Now, I'm not sure if many of you are aware of who this guy is, or you're not. Most of you should really know who he is, and this face should really be known and never forgotten. So this guy here is called Josef Mengele, and he was born on the 16th of March 1911. That was over 100 years ago. And he was born in a town called Günzburg in Bavaria in Germany. So I'm just going to get it out there that I'm not German. I learned a little bit of German at school, but not fluent in German at all. And also, I'm just going to say that I'm not going to know how to pronounce all of the German words, but please bear with me and at least just pretend you understand like what I'm saying. So anyway, he's born in this town called Günzburg, and his mother and father are called Karl Mengele and then Wahlberger. Now, her name starts with a W, so like Wahlberger, but I think you pronounce your W's in German as V's, so Wahlberger. And then you'll also notice that I'm putting on an accent when I say these words. This also is not a confirmed German accent, it's just a different accent to mine. So please bear with me. Okay, so anyway, and he also was the eldest of 3 sons. So his younger brothers were called Carl Jr., and Alois, again, A-L-O-I-S. I have no idea how you say it, so I'm saying Alois. So, okay, let's get into this. So, Josef Mengele's father owned a plant in the local town of Günzburg, and that was a manufacturer of farming equipment. And actually, this business was really quite successful. However, it's said that his mother, Wahlberger, was the one that they feared the most. In this factory, she would go in and she would just go mental on the workers. She had this horrible temper, and she would scream and demean them. And not just demean the workers, no, she would demean her own husband as well. Now this woman, just to me, sounds absolutely disgusting, like horrible. I really don't like her. So, as you can see, Wahlberger is definitely the chieftain of the Mengele clan. She's very bossy and bad-tempered, and she just sounds like just such a horrible person, somebody that you wouldn't want to be around, somebody that everybody bitches about behind their back because they're just like, oh, we've seen the state of that one, you know, bloody hell. You know, probably have nicknames for her and all sorts, like, you know, Mrs. Trunchbull. But anyway, so amidst all this evilness and nastiness, she's actually also a devout Catholic. Now, I don't understand how you can be so religious, but so mean and nasty at the same time. Surely religion is about peace, forgiveness, acceptance, not evil, brutality and name-calling. It does not make sense to me. Now, some sources even say that Joseph himself said that his mother just was not capable of loving. So it's said that obviously with such a vicious mother that this maybe had an effect on him, maybe. But I really don't think there's any excuses for that, what this man did, to be honest. Not even having a mother like that, really don't. But anyway, he's remembered in Günzburg as a pleasant child, charming, charismatic. Nobody could have foreseen what atrocities this man would commit. Like, they said he grew up into like a very handsome, self-confident man, and you know, they just could not see what was coming at all. So a little further along the line, Karl Mengele, Joseph's father, wanted Joseph to come and work at the family company called Karl Mengele and Sons. So obviously, with it being called that, he wanted his sons to come and work there too. However, Joseph just really wasn't wanting to do that. It just wasn't his scene. So instead of working at this factory, Joseph actually wanted to go and study science and anthropology. Now, for any of you that don't know what anthropology is, it is actually the study of human beings and mankind. So the word anthropology actually comes from the Greek term of anthropos, which means man or human, and logos, which means the study of. So the study of human and mankind. And in the dictionary, it's described as the study of human biological and physiological characteristics and their evolution. Now, I'm making a massive point of this because Mengele was really interested in genetics, and that comes up later. In April 1930, Mengele goes on to pass his school exams. So he does pass them, but he's not passing with like exceptional grades. So he really wasn't as smart as what I think he thought he was himself. So anyway, after that, he actually considers going into dentistry. The reason being is there's not any other dentists in his area at this time, and I guess he thought it could have been quite a lucrative career for himself. It does say though that this area was too specialised for him and he just didn't want to go down that route. So in October 1930, Joseph leaves the family home in Günzburg and heads to Munich. He wants to be the first in his family to become a medical scientist, so he wants to impress his family at this point. So he does actually enroll into the University of Munich, and he enrolls into the philosophy and medical departments there. And as Joseph had arrived in Munich, he arrived just as a new political party was beginning its ascent to power. Now, this party, called the National Socialist German Workers' Party, or as we know it, the Nazi Party. This had been founded a decade earlier and now had become under control by a man named Adolf Hitler. I'm sure we've all heard of him. And he, at the moment, was wanting to rebel against the Treaty of Versailles. Now, that's something to do with the World War I terms. I can't get into that just now, but this is what he was wanting to rebel against. And with the Great Depression that hit in 1929, Hitler, with his I can fix it attitude, was starting to gather a lot of support. And it was whilst Joseph was studying philosophy in Munich that he started to become under the influence of the racial ideology of this man here, Alfred Rosenberg. And it was actually in March 1931 that Mengele decided to join the paramilitary unit called the Stahlhelms, which means steel helmet, and this is reference to the helmets that the German soldiers wore during World War I. And the Stahlhelms would often do marches, so this was something that he had joined at this point. Okay, so you're really going to have to bear with me, guys, because I'm having real trouble filming and getting these videos out to you because of the content. It's very hard. I don't know what I'm allowed to say or what I'm not, because everything so far that I've posted has been done for hate speech, which is totally incorrect. I'm talking about this man here, Mr. Moustache, and his regime that bloody killed millions. Now, that's something I think needs to be spoken about, and I should be goddamn allowed to be speaking about it if I wish. You know, I'm not the one here hate speeching. I'm not the one here doing that. This is what this one here did, and this is why I want to get it out. You know, let people know about this hate speecher here. You know, not me, not me. Sorry, ran over. Anyways, so this man here was made the Chancellor of Germany on the 30th of January 1933, and he was made Chancellor by a man known as President Paul von Hindenburg. Now, Hindenburg was actually really reluctant to give him this position at first. However, a lot of smoothing over got done and he ended up making him Chancellor. And by the end of 1933, Mr. Moustache here had seized full control of Germany, so it was now a one-party state, and we can all guess what party that was. I can't say it because I might get done for hate speech. Anyway, and during this time, the organisation that Mengele was running with, the Stahlhelms, actually became merged with Hitler's SA, which were the Sturmabteilungs, or known as the Brown Shirts. These were his original paramilitary unit, and they merged them together. And then after a few years or so, Mengele ended up with a serious kidney infection and ended his relationship. But it didn't end his ideas and fascination with Nazi ideology. Oh no, no, no. That still continued. That was growing. That was under the surface. And it was in 1935 that Mengele received his PhD. And this was based on his thesis, which was named Racial Morphological Research on the Lower Section of the Jaw on 4 racial groups. This meant that he was saying that he could determine the race of an individual based on the lower jaw alone. And that is why he was given a PhD for this. And at this moment in time, this was not based on any sort of like hate towards another race. It was just purely scientific, which showed that at this point he had not yet been truly radicalized, not to the extent that he's going to be, which is one of the most radical, I must say. So after he gets his PhD, he then has to go on and work as a junior resident doctor, and he does this in a hospital in Leipzig. Like I say, it's compulsory that he does this so that he can obtain his full medical license. And it's whilst he's working in this hospital that he meets Irena Schonbein, and he will go on to marry her. He marries her on the 28th of July in 1939. And they go on to have a son in 1944, and his name is Rolf. And that's the only child that they will have. Whilst working in this hospital in Leipzig, he's becoming increasingly bored. Like, he's just doing ward rounds, and that's just boring to him. He doesn't want to do it anymore. So in 1937, he actually goes out, seeks and obtains a new position as a research assistant at the Institute for Hereditary Biology and Racial Hygiene. So yeah, he goes on to start this new job there. So now Mengele is a research assistant for this man here. Now his name's a mouthful, so I'm going to say it once, and then I'm just going to use his last name to refer to him. So his name is Ottmar Freiherr von Wüscher. And as you can see, that's a big mouthful, so I'll just stick with the last name. So he becomes an assistant to this man, and this man's actually a geneticist. Sorry, that's not registering in my mind. Anyway, that's what he is, and he has a particular fascination with twins. And this man is an admirer of Hitler's. He adores Hitler and his ideologies. He's fascinated by the man. And this is where they believe that this is where Mengele's twisted sort of mindset sets in. This is the beginning. When he meets this man, everything changes, and Mengele's mind is getting more warped by the day.